All right, Revival Outdoorsman here, and I wanted to go through jigs. So my specialty is jigs. I may not be the best at it, but I have fun throwing a jig out of everything. Not cranking, not worming. I love throwing a jig. Simply because there's so many different styles and weights and you can rig and do what you want with a jig, and they are very effective no time of the year. We're at West Point day after Christmas. Right now it's cold, 50 degrees, and you can still catch fish on jigs. I mean, they're just a go-to. But right here, I have a structure jig. Um, I think it's a 3/8 structure jig right here. There's thousands of different brands and ways and different jigs. For when it gets a little colder, what I like to do is I like to go to a smaller. I think this is the baby structure jig. I like to go to a smaller profile, like a bitsy bug. If you'll fish them off like rocky points and stuff, um, you can pick up some good spotopotamuses is what we call them. And I love fishing a jig, and because you can go smaller. Now in the summertime, when it's warm, or springtime when the fish are really aggressive and active, you could go to a full size jig. Um, right here, this you can go to a bigger jig. I've got some. This is Star Jigs, really good jig. Um, Bigger, it's okay to go to some bigger baits. And when it's warm and the fish are active, when it's colder, or they're a little, it's the water super clear, or they're a little fickle, as they say, you can reduce that down and get you a smaller jig. With this, has got an archy head, which basically is just a pointed head. And I use that. It's just what it is, structure jig. It's just made to go through, you guessed it, structure. And I like to use this on a lot of different applications. But I do that. And so what I do, I wanted to, this is a Speed Cross, a Zoom Ultra Vibe Speed Crawl. That's my go-to trailer for this. You don't have to put it on there. You can put, like I said, there's tons of different trailers, and you got to find out what works for you. But what I wanted to do today was just go through and rig something simple, something basic, and like I said, just something that will be quick and easy. This is Zoom Ultra Vibe Speed Crawl, green pumpkin. Now, in the summertime, if I was going to fish a full-size jig, I probably wouldn't hesitate in the least to just slap this bad boy on. But because I want a smaller profile right now, like I said, in clear water on when it's cold, and what I would do, I would just go down and to where the first little leg is, so to speak, crawl, whatever you want to call it is, um, and go to the first one. I want to stick that out right there. I want to take this, and I'm going to just, I mean, this is simple, it's simple, simple, but if you don't know, you don't know. Um, and you want to, I'm just going to come out. Now, the structure jig right here has a little keeper, and I'm just going to push that down, and I'm going to just hold that out right there. And that right there, if you'll look, that's just a small little profile. And basically what that will do, it just shortens it. It's just a smaller profile. You'll find when fish are a little fickle, they don't want something giant. They want something a little smaller in profile. And to me, it looks more natural, especially a lot of the lakes around West Georgia, East Alabama, and this. We've got some big crawfish, don't get me wrong, but our crawfish is not going to be as big as what probably you would have in Louisiana or whatnot. So we don't have just huge crawfish and you know, things like that. So I feel like, now this is just my opinion, and we all know how that goes, but I just like a smaller profile. It looks more natural. It looks more as if smaller things would be in the lakes around here in West Point. I go with green pumpkin or watermelon seed. Then you can dip this, you can dye this. I spray some. I think I'll spray this right here. This spike it right there on it, and this crawfish bait. There's hundreds of different lures flavors you can choose. That's what I go with. Now just spray it on that and throw it out there. And depending on the water temp, depending on how fish are reacting to it. Now I will, just one more tip. For this video, I just chose the green pumpkin. One tip I would go with is your lighter color days, or your sunnier days, and the when it's real clear outside, go with something lighter. If the water is real muddy, if it's cold outside and you're fishing some really stained water, go with something. Go change your trailer to something darker. Put a darker color on it, and it'll allow your jig to stand out more. And so that's just something I do. Something I've found that works. I don't always throw the same trailer. I have tons of these ultraviolet speed crawls, and a lot of people put on different trailers. I like the Zoom speed crawls. They just always work for me. I love the fact that they are smaller in profile. I can reduce them down or leave them as long as I need to. And I just like the way the crawls are made, the little plastic crawls are. And so that's what I use. I'll change it depending on the water clarity, and I'll change it depending on whether it's cold or hot. But I'll use darker colors when it's muddier, and clear translucent colors when it's clear outside. And for whatever reason, it just seems like the fish react to it well, and it's not overpowering on clear days. And then when it's darker colored, muddier days, they seem to find it a little easier. Anyway, just wanted to bring that to you and present that to you. Try a jig. It's a slow moving bait. It's something that you don't want to burn it. There's swim jigs for that, all that kind of stuff, and those work too as well. But try a jig and try cutting it down, the profile a little bit. I think you'll find more bites, and the fish will be more comfortable with it. And try a jig. It's not for everybody. If you like to burn it, if you like to crank and all that good stuff, that's fine. And if you catch fish, hey, don't change what you're doing. If you're watching this and you say I catch plenty of fish by doing whatever, keep doing it. But for me, I love throwing a jig. That's my go-to. I will keep a rod on with a jig, and I'll throw a heavy action rod with the jig. You don't want something you want something that's got some backbone to it. And so I'll keep one of these tied on year round, 24/7, no matter what day, no matter what time. I will always keep a jig on. This is probably one of my, I don't know of a bad time to throw it. Anyway, take somebody hunting, take somebody fishing, Revival Outdoors. Thanks for coming along.